Welcome to ITIL Passport, an accredited e-learning package for ITIL Foundation Certificate in Service Management. If you haven't already viewed the mini tour, we suggest that you familiarise yourself with the package by looking at the mini tour, accessible from the help icon on the navigation bar. If you need help during your studies, you should contact your learning service provider or the Best Practice LMS team by email or telephone. ITIL, the IT Infrastructure Library, is part of a suite of best practice publications for IT service management. ITIL provides guidance to service providers on the provision of quality IT services and on the processes, functions and other capabilities that underpin those services.
ITIL, the IT Infrastructure Library, is the most widely recognized framework for IT service management in the world. ITIL has evolved over the last 25 to 30 years as technologies and business practices have evolved. ITIL is not a standard that has to be complied with. Instead, it is a best practice guidance that should be used to create value for the service provider and its customers. In its first iteration, ITIL was a collection of over 40 books detailing best practice in IT service management. These books were rationalized in its second revision and condensed to form 8 core publications. The best known of these volumes were Service Support, which reflects the reactive side of service provision, and Service Delivery, which looked at the proactive dimension. In 2007, a major refresh of ITIL was published to reflect significant advances in technology and new challenges facing the providers of IT services. New models and architectures such as outsourcing, shared services, utility computing, cloud computing, virtualization, web services and mobile commerce have become widespread within IT. The ITIL framework is based on a life cycle approach to service provision, broken down over 5 stages. Each stage of the service life cycle has a core publication providing best practice guidance, which includes key principles, required processes and activities, organization and roles, technology, associated challenges, and critical success factors and risks. In 2011, the core publications were updated as part of the commitment to continual improvement and to improve consistency across the core publications.
ITIL's popularity is attributable to a very practical approach. Do what works and don't reinvent the wheel. One of the simplest paths to take is to do what others have found to be successful without losing sight of the big picture. ITIL has a number of key characteristics which adds to its popularity and success. ITIL is vendor neutral. The UK government has a large stake in its ownership. It is therefore not tied to any commercial proprietary practice or solution. Furthermore, because its service management practices are not based on any particular technology platform or industry type, they're applicable in any IT organisation. It is non-prescriptive, offering robust, mature and time-tested practices that are applicable to all types of service organisation. It is equally at home in the public and private sectors, as well as internal and external service providers, within small, medium or large enterprises, and within any technical environment. And it is best practice, representing the learning experiences and thoughts of the world's best-in-class service providers. There are 5 core stages which must be considered when designing and delivering a service. Each stage is supported by a publication that provides part of the guidance necessary for an integrated approach, as required by the ISO 20000 standard specification. Service strategy is an iterative stage. It is repeated at various stages in the life cycle to validate the reasons for offering the service in the first place and ensure that the value proposition is positive. Service design takes a holistic approach to designing a service. Every possible influence in delivering a service is planned for, not just operationally, but also across transition. Service transition is where project methods come into force and moves services and service changes into operational use by using the service design package received from service design. Any changes that could affect the live environment must be fully tested and supported. The value that is planned for in service design and validated in service transition is delivered and consumed in service operation and managed in a live environment. For most users, this stage represents IT. A wise man once said, "If you don't look after your customers, someone else will." This is the fundamental value that drives continual service improvement. Like service strategy, it is ongoing throughout the life of the service and can impact any life cycle stage, including itself, and looks at all aspects of service provision.
The ITIL Foundation exam is a 1-hour closed-book exam consisting of 40 questions. Each question is multiple-choice format and offers you 4 choices listed A to D. There is only one correct answer per question, and each question carries 1 mark. In order to pass the exam, you need to achieve 65%, which equates to 26 marks or higher. The foundation exam is a prerequisite for taking further ITIL intermediate level exams and other higher qualifications.
This completes the Getting Started module. You will now have a broad understanding of the 5 stages of the service lifecycle, the supporting role played by the 5 core publications, and the structure of the foundation exam. In subsequent modules, you will learn about service management using the ITIL Best Practice Framework.